Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. And I'm a board-certified criminal defense lawyer. I actually have cases. I actually try cases. And I'm actually going to get really swamped here. I've got a lot of trials coming up. But I'm a criminal defense lawyer, real one, who just reacts to some hardcore gangsta drill music. A couple little announcements I'd like to make. First of all, to our Patreon members, want to thank you. Know that your dollars go to get out people who are indigent in jail. They can't afford low bail, like $100 or $150 bail. So all of the Patreon members, and I posted this on Patreon, get a free hat. So if you just send me your information, we'll get that out to you. Secondly, if you become a new Patreon member for 3 months or more, at the 3-month level, then you will get a free hat. So, and also, if you just want to buy a hat, you can do that on Shopify. Just follow the link in our video, and go from there. Lastly, we are sponsoring a program. I sound like an old guy when I say that kind of shit. Sorry about that. We are sponsoring a show, Stars of Tomorrow, on the 28th of September. And that will be at the 7th Street entry at First Avenue, made famous by one and only Prince. We're going to have a bunch of new artists. I'm going to be there. I'm going to introduce one of the acts. And then I'm also going to do a meet and greet. So if you want to meet me, that would be the place to do it. And we might have some merch. We might have this and that. And it'll be a really, really excellent time. So without further ado, let's get into Spazz by Perico and Remble.
Spazzed out, the homie pulled his gat, then he blacked out, clapped out, jumped in his Benz, then he smashed out, crashed out, them CAXM car tags out. She always talking about these millions, so what's that about? Cash flow.
So, spazzed out, the homie pulled his gat. Gat is a gun, obviously. Then he blacked out, capped out, jumped in his Benz, then he smashed out. So this is a smash and grab, kind of a robbery that we're talking about initially. And so we're talking about, some street crime right off the bat.
Got it, you go flat, bro. You blew all the money, what the fuck you do that for? Mastros, want the butter cake and the wagyu. I ain't gotta do it, shit.
So one of the things that people do that's really stupid is they get money and they don't really think about what they should do with the money. Like, let's say I get a big case and I get $100,000. And if I just go to the club and I buy a Benz and I do this and I do that, all of a sudden, that money's gone and I still have expenses. So you buy the Wagyu, the Wagyu, that's your expensive beef, whatever. Anyway, so what he's talking about here is blowing all this money, and then now you're in Dutch. You're kind of behind the 8 ball, and which is a cycle of having to do more crimes to catch up.
Little niggas a pack you initiated. Got my hood tatted, it's abbreviated. When the homie snitched, I was humiliated. My last hoe, baby.
When my homie snitched, I was humiliated. I can tell you this: when people are humiliated by a snitch, they're not humiliated. They're fucking pissed off. When you have somebody, especially if it's your buddy that's trying to snitch on you, one of the things that they do in federal jail here locally, it happens all the time. People try to look at other people's paperwork when they're in custody, and they try to snitch on them because they snitch on them. And what do? It happens when they snitch on them, they try to get a lighter sentence, and you usually get about a third to half off your sentence if you cooperate against whoever. And all of the fucking federal government's cases, 99.9999% of them are snitch based, and they're rewarded. federal system is set up to reward fucking snitches.
Me everything I asked for, but she ran off when I got down to my last dough.
And she ran off when she got down to my last dough. I'm telling you, this kind of shit bugs the fucking tar out of me. If a woman is with you only because of this, you should do this. Not slap her. You don't fucking hit a woman. But you brush her aside and get somebody that's decent. You don't want somebody that's with you that's hot and just giving you the punani just because you've got some dough. She should be with you because you got this in here, you've got a future, she's got a future, and the two of you are a team. Anyway, just a little preachy from Blicky.
Now, everybody's so hard to trust now. Dealing with the hate way more than the love now. The guns down, squabble with your homie, just don't stump him out.
So that's an interesting concept. Everybody's so hard to trust now. That's why if you're rich and how do you know who's with you because you are a good guy and you're a true friend, or just a hanger on to see for the trappings of all the rain that you can make.
Cause that's an easy way to get you flushed down. Touchdown. Try to block my food, oh you lunch now. At a function in the hood.
Try to block my food. Oh, you lunch now. What does that mean? Well, see, part of this is all poetry, right? And so I might have a different interpretation than you when you see this. So what I think this means is you try to block my food, or that's a metaphor for probably something else, like you're trying to fuck me over, and now you lunch now. Which, in other words, I'm going to feed you to the sharks, or I'm going to pop. So, that's my interpretation.
Drunk now, you own now. That's why these fuck niggas want you gone now. To every real nigga fresh out, welcome home now.
Every real fella fresh out, welcome home now. So, in other words, these guys are coming home, and you're going to be not doing well. Not doing well at all.
We'll keep popping champagne. We gonna keep looking good, and we gonna stay dangerous. I don't know why you acting tough over there, boy.
So let me ask you something. And this is a rhetorical question because you obviously can't really answer, but maybe you answer in the comments. We popping champagne. We gonna keep looking good. We're gonna stay dangerous. How about we keep getting educated? We keep proceeding forward, and we're gonna stay successful. Anyway. I like the lyrics, but I'd rather have you think that way. Anyway, I'm not your dad, but you should listen to me anyway.
You know when we was little, your mama wouldn't let you hang with us?
It's Remble. That man told us they didn't even offer time yet. I knew he snitched and he didn't even drop the dime yet.
So he told, and they didn't even give him time yet. He's snitching, didn't even drop a dime yet. Now, I think what he's trying to say is basically that he's not really giving them good information.
Change, you can watch it on your timing. A cold snake, I wonder how you haven't died yet. He kept swinging, so I hit him with the side step. Like, silly rabbit, why would you go against...
I love this. Okay, so he's got a gun in the video. Guess what? Does that look like a real gun? Could that ever be considered a real gun? No, it couldn't. So it's not a crime, clearly. And I don't know if this guy's eligible or not eligible, but it's all art. This is clearly art, which is how I wish I could advise half these guys on what to do and how to do it. But
a bodybuilder, I can see it in your biceps. A street fighter, you should get rid of that mindset. Take these shells, let it go with the stare. Your homies go to cemeteries, you can follow them there. We shot him out as true religion, he could squabble a bear.
Now, I made a comment back about true religion. I know true religions are sweaters. No, I'm kidding. I know that they're jeans. But many people have died for religion, and to die for whether it's religion or true religion is not worth it.
Bring a gun to every fight, I am not squabbling fair. Rules just after missions, bro, you gotta be...
Bring a gun to every fight, I'm not fighting fair. Two schools of thought in that. You've got the street school of thought, meaning I'm going to be prepared. I'm never going to be lacking, and I'm always going to be packing, and I'm never going to be the one in the dirt. The other school of thought is, if you got a gun everywhere you go, two things happen. Either you're ineligible because you have a prior felony record, and if that's the case, you shouldn't be packing because you're going to go to prison for a 5-year mandatory minimum, and it goes up from there. Or someone's going to take that gun from you and shove it up your ass. That's something that happens a lot. But the other thing is proportionality. If he's taking a gun to a fist fight and he isn't going to fight fair, the proportionality would defeat any self-defense claim, because you can have self-defense, but your force against force has to be reasonable and it has to meet like force. So I can't shoot you just because I think you're going to punch me in the face, but I can shoot you if you're going to stab me with a knife. Lethal force, lethal force. So it all has to be reasonable. So I'd recommend not doing that. I can't tell you how many times I've had people with guns and gun permits that are sitting behind bars right now because they made bad judgments.
You shouldn't feel the need to speak if you don't have any paper. How did you let them catch you sleeping, bro? You gotta be safer. You tried to give out all those trades and then you ended up tapering.
LA, the Bay, New York, Detroit, Miami, Atlanta, New Orleans, Dallas, Portland, Seattle, Phoenix, Alabama, Cleveland, Minnesota.
Minnesota, love it.
New Jersey, we taking off.
So that was G. Perico and Remble, Spazz, by Empire. So I want to thank you for listening and tuning into our channel. And if you're watching this, you should follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, get on Patreon. Here's the deal: 3 months, free hat, or buy a hat on Shopify. This should be a staple, and we should have these things everywhere in the country. Remember, the 28th, we have a show, Stars of Tomorrow. It's going to be at the 7th Street entry over at the First Avenue bar, and sponsored by CLR and produced by Motivation Hustle. So look for them on Instagram, and we'll talk to you soon. Shout out to Lauren, however, that I met with on my Instagram. Look for Lauren. She does suits, and she is amazing. She flew out from LA to here. She does athletes, and look her up. Lauren on Instagram. Talk to you soon. CLR.